Arthur the rat. Once there was a young rat named Arthur who could never make up his mind. Whenever his friends would ask him if he would like to go out with them, he would only answer, "I don't know." He wouldn't say yes or no either. He would always shrink making choices. No, that's shirk. Shirk, right? He will always shirk making choices. His Aunt Helen said to him, "Now look here, no one's going to care for you if you carry on like this." His Aunt Helen said to him, "Now look here, no one is going to care for you if you carry on like this. You have no more mind than a blade of grass." One rainy day, the rats heard a great noise in the loft. The pine rafters were all rotten. The pine rafters were all rotten, so that made the barn was rather unsafe. The pine rafters were all rotten, so that the barn was rather unsafe. At last, the joist gave way and fell to the ground. The wall shook, and the rat's hair stood at the end of the fear and horror. "This won't do," the captain said. The captain. "I'll send out the scouts to search for a new home." Within 5 hours, the 10 scouts came back and said, "We found the stone house where there is room and board for all of us. There is a kindly horse named Nellie, a cow, a calf, and a garden with a elm tree." The rats crawled out of their houses and stood on the floor in a long line. Just then, the old one saw Arthur. "Stop," he ordered coarsely. You are coming, of course." "I'm not captain," said Arthur, undaunted. I don't like this story. Just then, the old one saw Arthur. "Stop," he ordered coarsely. "You are coming, of course." "I'm not captain," said Arthur, undaunted. "The roof may not come down yet." "Well," said the angry old rat, "we can't wait for you to join us. Right about face, march." Arthur stood and watched them hurry away. "I think I'll go tomorrow," he said calmly to himself. "But then again, I don't know. It's so nice and snug here." That night there was a big crash. In the morning, some men with some boys and girls rode up and looked at the barn. One of them moved the board, and he saw a young rat, quiet, dead, half in, half out in his hole. Thus the shirk got his due. Kite. The quick little kitten thinks it's bit a pretty big fish. Dress. Many of Jeff's best friends slept in mesh tents in pleasant weather. Trap. The harrowing black cat dashed at any man and lands on the planed carriage. Lot. The honest swan stopped and acknowledged the fox dodging the bordered wasps. Struck. Mother loves butter that comes from the southern countryside. Foot. The butcher should put the pudding in the wooden nook to cook. Bath. Can't have the staff asked to transfer to the enchanted castle in France. Cloth. Lawrence often offers Ross a Florida orange and horribly strong frothing Boston coffee. North. Laura warms aroma, reforms Thor's horse for an important war. Force. The adorable boar snores hoarsely and nutrously hoarders imported pork. Cure. The tourist endures rural tours of Europe and and procures gourmet bourbon. Happy. The coffee, salami, spaghetti, macaroni are ready. Letter. Sugar covers the tiger's whiskers. Comma. Bertha's and Cinderella's saga is a drama. Major players are Richard, Wilbur, and Harry are running around the treacherous river. L. Linda and Allie pull belly muscles, laughing laboriously. And G. The singing mockingbird is swinging on the ring and dinging the awning. TH. These bands gather and breathe 3 authentic breaths together. H. Harry, Hillary, happy harvest heaps of herbs behind the beehive. YOD. The cute, dutiful blue cuckoo resumes cooing suitable tunes enthusiastically. W. Will and Drew whistle when the wind blows between the whimsical weeping willows. ING. Miss Fanning is walking and hiking in Wyoming. S. Susie lives in her sister's home on Easy Street with her Siamese cats and Siberian husky dogs. I was raised and born in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Spanish I learned when I was first born, since I was young. It was my first language. And English I learned starting elementary. I learned English here in the United States. My elementary school named Upsala. It's kindergarten.
What is the extent of your education right now?
Currently a sophomore in college.
What are the influences on your accent?
Parents going back home, visiting Mexico, and staying there for long periods of times.
What do you think of your voice and accent?
Personally, I don't enjoy my voice. My accent, I do like it, but I feel like it's taking away since I started college.
Do you sound like your family?
Similarly.
Could you tell me a life-changing moment?
I don't think I have one.
Okay. I will ask another one. What is the biggest decision you made, and how has it impacted you? And can you speak around the circumstances of it?
My biggest decision was coming to college. By impacts, it has helped me become a lot more independent from my family and my parents. Coming from a first-generation household, my parents were extremely dependent on me and my older sister because they didn't speak the language, and there's so many regulations and laws and things that are completely different compared to where they came from, which was Mexico. So for me, coming to college, even if it was like even if it's only 2 hours away from home, it's been something I did for myself and not for my parents.